Breathe, breathe, and enjoy life abundantly. Breathe.
Back. Let's rewind back. You got saved. The person came to the altar, got saved, never came back to church, believes wholeheartedly in the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, has salvation, has his blessing over his life. Off into the world he goes, never to return to be discipled. Will that power work in him? It will. Will he know that it works? That's the key. That's why our deliverance is so important, because you'll hear God say, go minister to that person.
Right.
But because you don't think you're worthy, because Christ makes us worthy.
Right.
Listen to me, no matter what you've done, Christ has made you worthy. But you'll think that you're not worthy because of all these actions that you've built up and all this guilt and self-condemnation. Because let me tell you something, self-righteousness and self-condemnation are on the same wavelength. One extreme to the other. You're either going to be self-righteous and think it's all about you, or you're going to be have self-condemnation and still think it's all about you. Yeah, all that. Self-centeredness. That's where depression comes from, because a person turns inward instead of looking at God. It's more about me than it is about God. Because if God is the source of joy, and God is the source of peace, and God is the source of love, and God is the source of all our life, if He's our source, then that tells me my source is about joy, my source is about peace, my source is about love, and that means that as long as I look to Him, I can never go in like a turtle, because I'm always looking to the hills which come with my help. And as long as I'm looking to the hills, and as long as I'm basing my life, as long as my soul was attached, my mind, my will, my intellect, my imagination, and my heart is attached to the things of God, I can never be attached to the flesh, because the flesh will tell me to be depressed. The flesh will speak to me and dictate to me that I should be depressed, right? But God's Spirit has dictated to me that I have joy. Not based off conditions, but that it's been imputed into me, that it's been laid to my account. Then it tells me that I have peace. So now peace is telling me that I have it in my soul. So I have all these things built up in my soul. Which one am I going to choose to do? And that's what happens. We live more fleshly lives than we live spiritual lives. And if we learn how to live a spiritual life, we'll never slip into depression. You'll never slip into depression no matter what goes on. You might mourn, you might have a little grief, but when you see yourself as a spiritual person more than a physical person, you'll never slip into those things of the flesh. You'll never return back to the bondage that you've been delivered from. You'll never go into depression. You'll never find yourself in situations that you know that you're not supposed to be in, because you'll realize, not that I'm better than these things, but I've been delivered from these things.
Amen.
And because I've been delivered from these things, how dare I go back?
Amen.
How dare I go back to that vomit? How dare I go back to that thing that had me captivated? I've been delivered. God has atoned my sin, but He's also invested in me the power to be able to turn away. Because let me tell you something. If you think that God removed the taste, He's not. He's not. The pie in the sky is not falling. God is not in that. He invested in you and gave you all the power to do all that you've been able to do. And because of that, all you have to do is believe that Jesus will fulfill that which you think that He won't. If it's a substance, if it's a man, if it's a woman, if it's anything that pulls you away from the will of God, you have to believe God to fulfill that part of your life. Amen. That's it. That's it. It's a faith thing. This thing is all about faith. And if you come to the point where you realize that it's all about faith, you'll graduate in a lot of things that you didn't think you were able to. But if you don't come to this place of faith, you'll still be trying to put your hands on things and fix things for yourself, and you don't have the power to do it. All right, so John chapter 3.